Visit them online at techtimeradio.com.
Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology news of the week, the show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation, with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host and technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise. Our co-host here, Mike Gray, is in studio. He's an award-winning author and an expert on AI and human behavior interaction, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. We are live streaming during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, X, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to visit us online at techtimeradio.com and become a Patreon supporter at techtimeradio Patreon.com/Techtime Radio. We are friends from different backgrounds, but bring the best technology show possible weekly for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We're glad to have Odie, our producer, at the control panel today. Welcome, everyone. Let's start today's show. Oh, dead air. Okay.
We could start today's show. There it is.
Now on today's show.
It's on today's show.
Well, welcome to today's show. Today on Nathan Mumm, buckle up as we're going to drive the latest tech news and stories on essentially lots of different items. Is that 2 times I said it?
That's
okay,
two
there
so
you go.
far.
2 different items that we have. We have the Senate, who is assembling a debate over AI surveillance and data rights. Do you think Alexa is secretly judging the taste of music you listen to?
I don't know. We'll talk about that.
Okay, all right. And we got our first retractable lightsaber. That's right. It is time to update the Jedi Code to the 21st century. Someone actually has a full prototype working lightsaber we're going to talk about. Next, picture this. A self-driving Waymo car gets pulled over by the cops. The problem is that essentially when the cop goes to arrest somebody, there is no one there since it's an autonomous vehicle. Now, should AI traffic violations receive a ticket, and should self-driving cars go to virtual driving schools? We're going to be talking about that. And then we're going to have, drum roll please, we're going to be talking about a new event that we are co-sponsoring that is called Geek Fest. We're going to be talking about that in our main segment. Mike will be there. Mark will be there. Odie will be there. It's going to be an exciting event for Tech Time Radio to be a part of. So we got a lot of question and answers there. But wait, there's more. Robot relationships. Are they the future of companionship? What happens when your AI chat bot flutters your circuits? Should you care about that, even though it has a lack of a beating heart? And then we look back at July 5th, 1994, when Netscape Navigator emerged as the browser of choice, even before cat videos and GeoCity fan pages were a thing. What is significant about that day? An earth-changing event happened that affects each and every one of us. And of course, in addition to that, we have our standard segments, including Mike's mesmerizing moment, our technology fail of the week, and hopefully a Nathan Nugget. And of course, our pick of the day whiskey tasting with our expert connoisseur, Mark Gregoire. And we will see if this gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up by the end of the show. But now it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right, story number 1. A formal request has been sent to the Senate on a panel to focus on privacy and AI. Now, is this the Mark Zuckerberg Facebook hearing all over, or will it have less comedy and more substance? So the last time we had one of these events, they had all these senators asking Mark Zuckerberg questions that they clearly didn't even know what they were talking about.
They were just dumb questions.
They were dumb. So explain to me what pokes are. Explain to me what uplinks. I mean, just basic stuff that essentially a 7 or 8-year-old should have known already about the platform itself. I hope that is not what we have happening again, because that is both A, funny for comedy, but B, non-relevant for anything that needs to be taken care of in technology, AI, and the subject is important. Now let's go to Corinne Westland for more on this story.
The American Privacy Rights Act, a bipartisan data privacy bill led by Senate Commerce Committee Chair Maria Cantwell and Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers, was scheduled for a markup in the House last month, but the meeting was pulled shortly before it began after pushback from House GOP leaders. The House pushback threatens the bill's chances of passage this session, but it is likely to emerge during a Senate hearing on the topic. The bill would give people more control over their data and add requirements such as letting users opt out of targeted advertising and data transfers. It would also create a private right of action that allows consumers to seek financial damages through court and preempt state laws. Does this make you go, Back to you in the studio.
All right, so we've been talking a little bit about this. So I looked into what this steering committee is supposed to be doing. Now it's in the Senate and being brought up by both a Democrat and a Republican that are sponsoring this bill, both from the state of Washington. Isn't that interesting? So a representative from the House in the state of Washington.
I don't know. Since this is one of the tech centers of the U.S., I think that
makes sense, right?
Makes sense.
So, and they have some experts that are coming on in to talk about this that actually are experts in the field itself. So it should be a good idea. So here's what we got going on here. We need to accelerate the federal comprehension on the privacy law according to AI. The big things in this hearing is putting in AI rules that allow us as a consumer to have some yes or no options. Really, it's kind of copycatting a lot of what they've done overseas and the GDPR regulations that they have for anybody that's a UK citizen on what you can opt in and what you can opt out of. It has those functions, and it has the ability where if you opt out of those functions and then you have a security breach within itself, that you could actually go after the company financially as an individual and a part of a class action lawsuit or a state-sponsored lawsuit. So you could, as the consumer, get money. We've been talking about this for a long time. What happens when your healthcare company gets compromised and you're a part of that? Now, you haven't opted out, but let's say you did opt out and they got compromised. Now you could actually go after the healthcare provider that had that data compromised, saying that you breached that information. If this continues to go down the process, I don't know if this actual committee is going to be able to set the rules or create the rules itself. It's a discovery type of area.
Does that work? I mean, is that relevant? Meaning, we're talking about AI generated
content.
Stuff,
So this is specifically
not somebody hacking my.
Well, so AI gets all of their content from where? You, the consumers, and the freeware. So when you sign up for Facebook, you sign up to use Google services, you give away some of your rights to use those services.
Right.
Then those services sell those to AI-generated large language models. And then companies will go on in that you're supposed to have and not supposed to have privacy information with. And sometimes when those get compromised, then those also get put into the AI model from different information once it comes on out. So the idea of this law that they're actually looking to put in there for regulations is to both help with AI and regulations on that and privacy. When you just choose to opt out of privacy, they're both combining those together kind of in this bill, AI consensus for AI discovery and security. So they're kind of adding two things into this area itself.
Okay.
Now, Senator Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, we talked about this, released an AI roadmap for regulation in May of this year, but the document was light on calls for specific regulations. This is a committee that is supposed to put the experts together. They have a University of Washington Tech Lab. Amaba Kat, that's a co-executive director of the AI Now Institute, that is actually working on this also. And they have some pretty good AI people and regulatory people to put this together. Would you be happy if this got some legs on this, Mike?
Well, we know how I feel about AI.
Yeah.
And I think we need to have regulations in place. Otherwise, until something is not a law, it's not a crime.
Correct.
So, these things are doing all kinds of wonky things that I don't think anybody can predict. And we need some way of regulating what that is.
So I'm using AI quite a bit now. And I'll tell you, I use that to answer my questions, and I can find stuff quicker than I could have the standard Google searches.
I think there's always these things that AI is good for. One of them is seeking information. So I have pretty much stopped using Google myself, and I use the Bing chatbot, Copilot, right? Because it can give me information really quick. Doesn't mean that I don't have to check and make sure that information's correct, because you have to verify the information. But I don't know what's happened to Google, because now when I Google stuff, it either just gives me paid advertisements or it doesn't answer the question at all. And Alexa's just as bad.
Yeah, they both. Yeah, they are.
Alexa is just a big
And I don't know what's happened to
disappointment.
Google either. I've completely moved away from it. I use Copilot and I use Bing now as my search. So I have completely changed
But
Google completely, because it was not returning the information that I get with the AI chat. I know it's not
yeah, but
always
that
right.
begs the question: is when is the AI chat going to start referring me to paid advertisements?
I don't know.
Because that's going to happen.
You
We
think
all
so?
know that. Yeah, of course that's going to happen. Because how are they going to
They're gonna come on up from their-
monetize this?
they're gonna
They're
come
going
up
to
with the
find a way to monetize.
because Microsoft is paying for the AI model right now, and then
Sure.
by using their services, they have a license.
Right.
I pay money to OpenAI.
But
use
if
ChatGPT.
once Microsoft figures out they can make money by shuttling answers to paid advertisements, are they going to do that?
I hope they don't do that. They
I
probably
hope
will.
they don't, but
they're going to monetize. They do monetize.
you know, my father used to say you can spit in one hand and wish in the other and see which one fills up faster.
All right. Is that what he said?
Well, he didn't say spit.
Okay. All right. All right. Here we go. All right. Let's go to story. All right. Let's go to our next story. Story number 2.
Thanks to AI, chatbots can act as personalized therapists, companions, and romantic partners. The apps offering these services have been downloaded millions of times. So, if these chatbot relationships relieve stress and make us feel better, does it matter that they're not real?
So what do you think?
I think it's okay if as long as it's harmless, which it's hard to be because MIT sociologist and psychologist Sherry Tuckle calls these relationships with technology artificial intimacy, and it's a focus of her latest research. She says, I quote, I study machines that say, I care about you, I love you, take care of me. That is harmful in my eyes.
It is. It is very harmful. So
Yeah.
from a personal perspective, I don't care what you do in the privacy of your own home.
Yeah.
But from a professional perspective, I think this is highly damaging. Even
This is becoming like a big thing though now.
I know it is.
So today with generative AI enabling chatbots to personalize their responses to us, Turkle is examining just how far these emotional connections can go. One case Turkle documented focuses on a man in a stable marriage who has formed a deep romantic connection with a chatbot girlfriend. He reported that he respected his wife, but she was busy taking care of the kids, and he felt that they had lost their sexual and romantic spark. So he turned to a chatbot to express his thoughts, ideas, fears, and anxiety.
Yeah, he turned to something outside the marriage.
Yeah. Which
in
is
order to get some needs met that he wasn't getting
Yeah.
in the marriage.
And she explained how the bot validated his feelings and acted interested in him in a sexual way. In turn, the man reported feeling affirmed, open to expressing his most intimate thoughts in a unique, judgment-free zone. And she is quote saying, the trouble with this is that when we seek out relationships of no vulnerability, we forget that vulnerability is really where empathy is born. I call this pretend empathy because the machine does not empathize with you. It does not care about you.
No,
End quote.
it doesn't. All it's doing is feeding back information. And our problem is our brains do not understand the difference. And it's easy for us to blur the lines of reality and this stuff.
She mentions that she worries that these artificial relationships could set unrealistic expectations for real human relationships. Quote, what AI can offer is a space away from the friction of companionship and friendship. It offers the illusion of intimacy without the demands, and that is a particular challenge of this technology.
Yep.
Yeah, which I agree with, because a chatbot is not, they're not dealing with their own stress. They're just
It's just feeding.
It's
It's
just
just
feeding
feeding
you.
back information.
Yeah.
It's you're telling it what you want, and it gives it to you.
Yeah.
It's a dial. It's a dial-up.
And in the
Date.
case of this man, his wife.
So it's almost like cheating.
He is
It is
cheating.
cheating.
I mean,
This
cheating.
is
It's
this is
emotional-
cheating. He is emotionally cheating on
Yeah.
his wife.
Yeah.
And
So did you ever have a
is-
Tamagotchi?
She mentions that.
yeah, I think that was cited in the
Yeah,
in the thing.
Tamagotchi. I had a Tamagotchi. Did you care, or did you get upset when the Tamagotchi died?
Not really.
So I had these two units that you
I'm
could
a- I'm
box
a-
with each other.
I'm you know, I'm
You
kind of
connected them together
I'm kind
and
of
you hit each other.
psychotic
Okay,
when it
that's-
comes to electronic things dying. I don't really care.
You don't really
I don't
care.
have any
How
empathy
about a
for
Furby? Did you ever have one of those Furbies?
yeah, we did bad things at Furby's.
Oh.
Did you? How about a Teddy Ruxpin? You remember a Teddy Ruxpin?
Oh, I hated Teddy Ruxpin.
So all those things are kind of emotional companions that were there.
That's okay. So we have a propensity for forming these pair relationships with these things, items. We do it with things that don't have AI attached to them.
Yeah.
Right.
With our cars, we personalize our cars. Some people name their cars. They give their cars personalities. We do this all the time because we are creatures of comfort and connection. We need to have connection with something. So we will create it when we don't have it actively. So the problem with these, I don't know many times I've gone off on the whole therapy thing. You can't have this AI bot doing therapy because therapy is not challenging you to grow. It's basically just reinforcing you using the
It's just a
therapy
listener.
bot.
Yeah.
So you never it creates a dependency on it's a drug. It's like a drug.
Well, with that being said, she also mentions that there are major concerns around privacy. According to Mozilla, as soon as a user begins chatting with the bot, thousands of trackers go to work collecting data about them,
Yep.
including any private thoughts they shared.
This is the kind of the first segment we talked about. There's no privacy law.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if I start having a relationship there, I start explaining why I'm upset with my significant other and why I don't like my kids
Well,
or
yeah,
why
Yeah,
I'm
so-
having
imagine,
this.
and then you're getting ads about Ashley Madison.
So dude bro who's cheating on his wife is sharing information that he thinks is non-judgmentally taken.
Yep.
And
Creating a
he's-
profile for him, and
there-
they say
yeah.
this guy right here.
people are grabbing that information.
Oh yeah, because it's free. Because it would not be because he didn't sign any disclosure. There's
Well,
nothing in law that would
There's
say that
nothing.
they would.
It says here that Mozilla found that users have little to no control over how their data is used, whether it gets sent to third-party marketers and
Yep.
advertisers, or if it's used to train more AI models.
Exactly what we're talking about. That
There's
law
no
that
putting
kicks
all-
off our first story, right?
Yeah,
we need
it's exactly the
regulation
same
because
thing.
until then, it's all just available for free.
And this guy, no matter how much he justifies it, he's setting himself up to really cheat on his wife
Yeah.
if some woman comes along and gives him the attention that he's getting from this. Because at some point, he's going to desire some physical intimacy that he can't get from either his wife or his chatbot.
Now, you know, I
Or-
never saw the Jetsons. I never saw George Jetson ever fall in love with Rosie. there was-
Well, George was a little bit of a
I'm just saying. So robots can
Crazy
exist in the
dude.
future, supposedly, without that.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I don't know why we have to go to George Jetson, but thanks for that.
well, what have you guys seen the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson?
I have not.
Her,
Um,
yep.
yeah, okay.
This is very much
Well,
like it.
in the movie, Joaquin Phoenix gives up everything for the AI voice of Scarlett Johansson. That could also happen. Yeah, cheating is another thing, but imagine if this man just puts aside his kids, his wife, all for the AI chatbot.
Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the Ashley Madison and the other sites that kind of do the stuff out there
Mhm.
too. But yeah.
There are so many problems that we have. I don't think AI is a good idea.
Well, speaking of problems, how about we move on to story number 3?
Hey, why don't we?
Okay.
Let's talk about Waymo self-driving autonomous vehicles.
Okay, let's talk about those. Now,
Okay.
we had Phil on a long time ago and we talked about it. He
We
did not
talked a
think
little bit.
he was a very good idea.
No, I don't. I agree.
You do? Okay.
I agree. So what happened this past week? A police in Arizona pulled over a self-driving Waymo car for driving into oncoming traffic.
Well, that's a problem.
Yes.
Okay.
Waymo told Phoenix police the car changed into the lane after encountering inconsistent construction signs, and I want you to put a pin in that because that's important. Inconsistent construction signs.
Okay.
On June 19th, a police officer pulled over an autonomous Waymo vehicle that had been driving in an oncoming traffic lane. The car was apparently confused by the construction signs, reportedly ran a light before pulling over into a parking lot to let the officer talk to one of Waymo's support technicians.
What does that got to be like? I mean, that's crazy. So it
I-
pulls
well,
on over
yeah.
that you like knock on the window. Does the window knows to come down, and then you have somebody from support? Oh no, I'm here to help you. I mean, what are you gonna do?
I don't know, but there's about 2.5 minutes of body cam footage that was published by AZ Central, in which the officer told Waymo representative the car was driving in a construction zone when it went into opposing lanes of traffic. He told a curious bystander what had happened, adding, "So I light it up and it takes off into the intersection." A dispatch record reportedly said the car drove through a red light and, quote unquote, freaked out before it pulled over. Waymo spokesperson Chris Bonelli told The Verge in an email that the vehicle, which had no passengers, which I think is really irrelevant here.
Okay. Okay.
I know they're saying that they want to make sure nobody was hurt or in any threat, but that's kind of stupid because at some point somebody's going to be in one of these cars.
Okay.
Drove into the oncoming lane when it encountered inconsistent construction signage, and then it was blocked from navigating back into the correct lane. It stayed in the oncoming lane for about 30 seconds before the officer pulled behind the car, at which point it drove away from the cop.
So just think if you're a person doing this, okay?
In an effort to clear the intersection.
Okay. Okay.
Before pulling into. So it ran from the cops.
So it ran from the cop, it went through a red light, and then was driving the wrong side of the road. Now, if you're a person in this car, you're getting handcuffed, you're getting thrown to the ground, you're getting a sobriety test.
Oh, if you're the driver,
yeah, if you're a driver of this?
yeah, this is yes. Unable to issue a citation to a computer, says dispatch records. Arizona law does allow officers to give out tickets when a robo-taxi commits a traffic violation while driving autonomously.
Okay.
Autonomously. I got Nathan disease today. I can't speak. Autonomously. However, officers have to give them to the company that owns the vehicle.
Huh.
Doing so is not feasible, according to a police Phoenix spokesperson quoted by trade publication Repair Driven News earlier this year. Waymo told Fox 10 Phoenix that its cars are 3.5 times more likely to avoid a crash than a human being. It has said in the past that its cars are 2 to 3 times less likely to end up in a police-reported crash. Even so, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is investigating almost 24 incidents involving the Alphabet-owned company's vehicles. In recent months, the cars have been recorded endangering other road users, and both Cruise and Waymo have had a history of interfering with emergency responders. The company also had to recall its vehicles last month after one collided with a telephone pole.
Okay, well, so these must be really safe vehicles to be in. Right? We had somebody that turned their car into Tesla self-driving mode, and he got arrested for that.
That's because he hit somebody on a motorcycle.
He did.
But he must have thought he was in a Waymo car. I don't know.
But if you're in Waymo, I guess
it just grind these things grind my gears.
Okay.
How do you say something is 2.5 or 2 to 3 times more safe than a regular driver?
Because they've only been on the market for 2 years.
Yeah, so they haven't been around that long.
So instead of 50 years worth of data, you got 3 years worth of data, and you can just say that we're 2 to 3% less because there's only 50 of our vehicles.
And now we got them running from the cops. Everybody's running from the cops,
man. that's crazy. All right. Well,
that's it. Let's just stop talking about AI.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to ask you a question following up that on your mesmerizing moment. But that ends our top technology stories of the week. Moving on, we have a special segment we're going to come back to for TechTime Radio. We are going remote, not this weekend, but next weekend at a major festival. What is it all about? Join us on our next segment. But buckle up now as we drive this show into 88 miles per hour. Into the next segment. See you at the commercial break.
This is Mark
and Greg
for Copiers Northwest
with a terrific offer
called Printer Care Plus.
It's simple. Buy HP printer cartridges from Copiers Northwest and we'll service your current printers for free.
That sounds too good to be true.
It's made possible due to our HP Copiers Northwest relationship.
Copiers Northwest is an HP Platinum partner.
One of only 2 in the entire Northwest.
And now with Printer Care Plus,
Copiers Northwest will provide free printer service.
as long as they purchase genuine HP cartridges from Copiers Northwest.
That's right. IT departments no longer have to service printers.
Or fix paper jams with Printer Care Plus.
They can focus on more strategic initiatives.
And let our experienced technicians keep their HP printers up and running.
Sounds like a love-love relationship for IT departments.
Don't get too carried away. So how do they get more details on Printer Care Plus?
Call Copiers Northwest today, 206-282-1200, or visit copiersnw.com.
Copiers Northwest. New ideas, new solutions.
All right. Well, welcome back to Tech Time Radio. Our weekly show covers the top technology subjects without a political agenda. We verify the facts. We do it with a sense of humor in less than 60 minutes. And of course, with a little whiskey on the side today, Mark Gregoire, our whiskey connoisseur, is in the studio. Mark, what are we tasting today?
Caramely, appley goodness.
This is amazingly
this
good.
is-
I love this already. Tell us what we're tasting. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, there
You
go.
are drinking, as you can see on the bottle, W.L. Weller 12-year, also known as the Black Label Weller. From Buffalo Trace's website, as part of the wheated bourbon family, this 12-year-old W.L. Weller is aged far longer than most wheated bourbons. This offering is a smooth, easygoing, and balanced bourbon with a beautiful deep bronze color. Aromas of lanolin, almond, cream corn, and toasted vanilla. The mid-palate flavor is heavily wheated, layered, and moderately sweet. Long, oaky, and intensely smooth finish. Sounds just like a Mike and Nathan whiskey.
This is definitely a Mike whiskey. I don't know if it's definitely a Nathan.
See, I have a Weller's red label. So do you know what the red label is?
That's the 101.
Okay. All right.
And
That's
Antique-
the other one.
Antique.
Yeah, so
101.
I have that on my shelf, and that's 3/4 of the way through too. I really like.
You also have a green label, which is the other one.
which is the other
The
one.
cheap
too.
version?
The SA.
I don't know if they're cheaper versions. Weller's still pretty expensive, no matter what you do.
Well, let's talk about that.
Okay, let's talk about.
So this is from the Sazerac Company, Buffalo Trace Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky. It is straight bourbon, as it says right on the label, 12 years old. It is 90 proof, so a perfect one on this hot summer day. The mash bill is undisclosed, but of course it's their wheated mash bill. And it goes for MSRP roughly $45.
Okay.
But the secondary market, it goes up to about $300.
It does.
Yeah, this is a crazy one.
So why is the secondary market so expensive?
Because it is highly allocated and people are crazy for Weller.
Yeah.
Especially the
This is
12-year, which
really,
you don't
really,
see as much.
it's just really deep in the smuggling underground.
It is. Mark's going to tell us he's got like 20 of these in his car.
Yeah.
This is how he pays.
How,
for
how,
his
ma- how many of these
vacation
do you
time.
have in your car, Mark?
We'll talk about that in the mumbles if you like. There's a
okay.
little insight there into Mark and this whiskey.
This
Mark and
Weller.
his-
Oh, okay.
Now, don't forget to like and subscribe. In addition, please comment. Let us know what kind of whiskey you'd like us to review. We'll see if we can get it on the show. And my little warning, heaven can wait. Drink responsibly.
Oh, I like that little warning. And Chris, Chris was commenting about the alcohol that we had last week too on the YouTube post. I talked with him. All right, let's continue on. Moving on. We're moving to our
Okay.
feature segment today. We're going to pivot from what we were planning to do, letters, which we'll have letters back on next week. We're planning to have Espinoza. The following week, we have James Riddle. So we are going to pivot to our gamer time segment now. All right, so this is our gamer time segment. And it's a little bit of gamer time. So Mike, Mark, myself, Odie, next weekend are going to be really busy. We're going to be busy doing something in the Pacific Northwest that has its inaugural year. Do you know what we got going on here, Mike?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? Well, no,
It's not like we haven't been talking about it for like a year.
It's been a little bit of a while. So you have
Nathan, tell us
yeah.
what Geek Fest is all about.
All right. Well, Geek Fest is everything geek, which is the trademark name. Geek Fest is a festival in the Pacific Northwest that runs July 19th through the 21st. So that's not this weekend, but next weekend. And it's a festival for geeks. So it's a little bit different. What would you think a festival for geeks would have? Well, do you think it'd have wrestling? Of course it does. Do you think it has?
I wouldn't have thought wrestling.
You wouldn't have
but,
thought
you know,
wrestling?
that's just me.
That's a geek thing. So it'll be live wrestling. There'll be shows Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with a championship belt from a team coming down from Canada to watch live wrestling.
Going into Odie's question here.
Well, no, I didn't know you said what it is. Geek Fest is like everything geek. Hang on. So then also, do you know what everything geek has?
No,
it has.
Tell me.
Okay, well, it also has the ability to go play in card tournaments. Have you ever played Magic the Gathering?
I do not play Magic the Gathering.
Okay, well, if you played Magic the Gathering,
I know exactly what it is.
So there's unlimited cut, limited edition sheets of different items that will be there from Wizards of the Coast. There'll be 15 plus artists that will be signing autographs for the artwork that they do on this. They're all local or semi-regional local that will be there. There's also this new game called Star Wars Unleashed. Have you ever played the card game Star Wars Unleashed?
No, but I've heard a lot about it.
All right,
I don't generally play card games.
So that you'd be able to have a tournament. Now, do you play board games?
Sometimes.
All right, well, what if you wanted to check out top 100 card games that were available? You could go at Geek Fest to Kel's Cafe, and you could go downstairs in their little dungeon area and check out over 100 of the hottest games that are available there. Doesn't cost you anything. There's $100 games, $50 games.
Is there going to be tabletop role-playing games?
There's a whole bunch of tabletop. Maybe are you a big D&D fan?
Yes.
Okay, so when's the last time you've had your D&D group together?
Last weekend.
Okay, well, now you guys could all get together and maybe extended people. You guys could go there, get a table, and you guys could play during Geek Fest and have a good time.
You doing a tournament?
Yep. Now, do you like playing free arcade games? We got a free arcade set up, so you can play all free arcade.
Well, are we
no
talking
quarters?
Are we talking about Galaxian?
Yeah, we're talking about Galaxian.
Moon Patrol.
Yeah, we're talking old games, and we're talking a whole bunch of Japanese titles, specifically that are limited edition, dance type stuff, punch type stuff. All of the new crazy arcade games will be there. Now, do you like buying trinkets and collectible Mopop type stuff?
Nope.
No Funko stuff.
Nope.
How about Star Wars figures?
I do though.
You do? Odie?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can talk to Odie about.
Do you like buying Star Wars figures?
I don't like
Star Wars figures. How about
Legos?
How about CDs to games, old like Sega systems?
Ooh.
You need a Wii because your Wii went up. You need to buy a Wii, don't you?
I've replaced my Wii like 6 times. I just can't seem to hold on to those things. Either the electronics go frizzling or it burns up in a fire.
So you could come here to Geek Fest and purchase one of those.
Okay.
Or do you like street food?
Yes,
I love
Do you like Mexican street food?
Now
we have how many food carts do you think we have that are Mexican?
32.
Wow. Okay. No, not quite 32. But that's
3.
So no, we have 5 different Mexican street carts that will be there selling great food. There's lemonade stands that you can do. Now, do you like going into a street fair where they have all these like tents that sell
I
stuff?
tend to stay away from things that have a lot of people
Nathan,
around.
Do tell me more.
Okay, Odie loves it. Okay, so
Yeah.
Well, Odie, do you like comedy events?
Oh, I love comedy.
You love comedy events?
Yeah.
Well, you could go. Geek Fest has their own Friday night, Saturday night, and Saturday during the day for free. You can go to a whole bunch of comedy shows that will be available.
Am I gonna have enough time to do everything this weekend?
I don't know.
Weekend?
I don't know if you would. So I would say that you would not be able to do it all in one day. So the great thing about it is that you can do it over 2 days.
I know Mark
3
has
days.
a question that's very pertinent to this topic. What is your question?
Well, I was raising my hand over here because it seems like you have a lot of things going on and a lot of events. How do you have this all in one location, or is this multiple locations?
Oh, there's over 10 different. That's a great question. There's over
Wow.
10 different locations that are available for Geek Fest. So you can go to the Everett Historic Theater and you can catch yourself if you want to watch a whole independent film festival Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's one that's going on there. You can go up to the hotel at the courtyard and you can play in tournaments, or you could go all the way down to the Performing Arts Center and catch some classic stuff. So it's all available there.
It sounds like Geek Fest is taking over the city.
You know what? There's 7 blocks that are going to be shut down and converted into Geek Fest itself. So not only do you go to the event center, but you have a whole bunch of streets that will have additional events going on too.
Sounds like a great time if you're a geek or just interested in the different events.
It does sound like that. Now, do you know the Festival of Geek? You know, the geek actually stands for something at Geek Fest. Did you know that?
I did not.
Let me tell you about it. So the G stands for going. So you can go to play video games, go to play card games, go to get food, go to hang out. That is the G for geek. Now, the E stands for entertainment. You want to go catch a cosplay event, catch a comedian, do a bunch of stuff. You can go and be entertained. How about engaging? This is where you can sit on down and you can watch a band. Live bands will be on stage. You can go, and if you want to watch the wrestling match, or you know what, maybe, and for engaging, you just want to go take pictures with your friends and play a board game.
Is there a place for like retro video games?
Oh, there's retro video games, of course, in the main expo hall. So you can go and you can play all your video game wonders.
You
in
interrupted
the expo hall
his
itself.
whole thing.
Now, how about Keep? K is for keep.
K is for keep.
Yeah, so geek is Geek. So K is for keep. That means you can buy stuff from vendors, walk around with a bag, and keep all of that for your own personal.
I gotta say,
private
that's
collection.
probably the most geek thing I could ever think of you coming up with. Is that
An acronym for geek?
Yes,
For the Geek Fest?
going, engagement, excitement, or entertainment, and keep.
Yeah, you're not going to know it.
You should keep going to get entertainment and engagement. How about that?
Oh, there you go. Okay, there you go. All right. Well, Odie must have a next question. Odie, do you have a question?
Yeah, who's gonna be there?
Who's going to be there? Oh, like talent-wise? Is that what you're
Like
saying?
everybody.
Oh, I mean, everybody is a geek. Have you ever heard of Shane Smith?
I have.
Shane Smith, comedian, Mr. Tattoo Guy is probably the best way to explain it. He is going to be there Saturday night for our Geek Fest After Dark. So the show runs again from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then just because there's not enough geek stuff to do in those hours, you can actually go to the after-hour shows. Saturday night, he has 2 shows. Or maybe, do you like Star Trek The Next Generation?
Sure.
Would you ever want to see Star Trek The Next Generation, a comedy musical? Friday night.
Absolutely.
At Geek Fest. You
Oh
can
my
go
gosh.
there
Wow.
and take a look at. And if you're lucky enough to attend that event, you may even get to see Mark Gregoire, as he is going to be helping out in the event. You can come up and say hi to him, and he'll give you all your expertise on all your whiskey needs right there on the spot.
That, I'm sold.
There you go. All right.
Ooh, I can't wait to see you there, Odie.
Okay. Does anybody have any more questions about Geek Fest?
Is that it? Who else is going to show
Well, Shane
up?
Smith will be there for talent. We have talent, comedian talents all across the United States, from New York, California, and these are all geek-centric comedians. So some of these, you're gonna Bernice, you'd know. We have a lot of Major Malcolm Smith, you'd know. There's some great talent that have been on a lot of different shows, a lot of different dry bar comedy, lots of different shows that are available now. If you're into let's say the Magic the Gathering, are you into artists signing artwork? Now, if you're a big Magic player, this is like
I'm not, but I know plenty of people who do this every year at Comic-Con and stuff.
Okay, so this is kind of the big thing. So the big shows used to have all the talent, used to be kind of their focus and their forethought of what they were going to do at the events. But now, most of these big events, like you go downtown Seattle, you can see these big stars, and they get all the TV stars, they get all the celebrity stars. And what happened to the talent that actually did all the artist work for those Magic the Gathering? They kind of sit in like the little corner type of deal. We're bringing those back, and they're not only going to be at our event, but they're going to be in the same tournament hall that you're playing Magic the Gathering. You don't have to walk up and go talk to somebody. You could whip your card out, just beat somebody up on Magic, and take it right on over and get the artist to sign it and have it as a treasure keep forever.
And you also mentioned that there is a limited edition card.
There's
set,
limited edition
right?
playmats that will be done, that will only be at Geek Fest. I think there's only like 100 of them that have come in, or maybe there's 500, but there's a limited amount. Once those are sold out, those will never be there. There's actually artwork that each of these artists are going to display that no one has ever seen before on banners above each of their booth locations that will be there. So there's going to be some very unique items. And here's the best part. Don't you like something for free?
No.
Do you like
Yeah,
something for free?
I love free stuff.
You like free stuff?
Yeah,
Mike doesn't.
swag is all about it.
Okay, so if you are the first 50 people that come to the event on Friday,
Mhm.
Saturday, and Sunday,
Okay.
line up at the expo hall, you will get a prized value that no one else will ever have.
Wow.
Limited edition of 50 items that will only be handed out. Prize values anywhere between $30 to $50 for the people that are lined up in those lines themselves.
Look at that.
So that is swag that is limited edition.
A
Print runs at
scarcity
50.
tactic.
Nobody else will
That's
ever get that
exactly
again.
what that is.
That'll be the very first original. You know how much the original PAX badges cost from PAX back in the penny
I
arcade?
don't care.
Okay, well, those are collectible high-end items.
Now, is
Odie
this is a family-friendly event, right?
It is family friendly.
Now, what if I want to break from the kids?
You want to break from the kids?
Mhm.
You
What
wanna
could
break-
is it like there's Shane
Well,
after
what you do
dark.
is you go throw them in the arcade room, tell them
Okay.
to play the video games, and then you go up on the expo hall and you can shop without them being there.
Okay.
So you can go. Where else can you drop your kids off? We were
No,
just
no,
thinking
I
about
don't
doing.
mean
Just leave your kids
That's
at
not,
home.
that's not where she's going. She's like,
What's going on after dark?
Yeah,
Oh,
what's
after
going on
dark?
after dark?
Oh, well, we have a,
after you get a
Oh,
babysitter, tuck the kids in
yeah.
bed.
okay. Well,
What's
then
there
there's a
specific to
burlesque
me?
show. Do you like
Ooh,
burlesque?
Okay.
There's a burlesque show. We got Geek Streak, which will be available
Mhm.
at one of our locations. And then, of course, we have our comedy shows that'll be available. Or if you're really into watching independent films, you can go. They have crazy independent films, a little bit more R-rated, NC-17 rated on the film festival over there. So be a little careful on what the independent film festival people think is a little bit more edgy on the items that are available there. Or you can hang out at the tournament hall and be in the middle of a game and be competing for a top end prize.
Sounds like there's something for everyone.
There's something for everybody. And if
Wow.
you're a family, you get a family pass on Sunday.
Mhm.
So get your family pass. It's
Maybe this should be called Geek Vegas.
Is it Geek Vegas?
Yeah.
Well, it could be Geek Vegas.
Well, where were you during the
family
game?
family during the day,
a little
Party at
danger during the night.
party at night.
There you go. Okay.
So you've talked about so much. If somebody didn't catch all this or want to look more into it, how do they get more information?
Oh, they can go to geekfest.com. Simple, easy website address. You can look for us online on Facebook. There's
Well,
X that will be available. You can go take a look at our X stuff that's available on Instagram. Tickets are available right now to purchase.
Okay. Are they available at the door as well?
Day of the door. Now there's a limit though.
Wow.
There's a limit at the door, so be careful if you really want to come to the event.
So you're telling me if I want tickets, I should go right now online?
You should go online to
should
get
go
them
right
because
What is that
now.
website?
it's geekfest.com.
Okay.
Because there's only a matter of maximum people we can fit in the main expo hall.
Right.
So after 10,000 per day, we're gonna have to cap it off.
Mhm.
So you can only fit 10,000 in there. Buy your
Yeah.
tickets now.
Wow,
All right.
I'm excited.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
you're
I
excited?
can't,
You know what?
wait.
All right.
Hold on.
What is that? Are you so excited? Do you know who's really excited about this?
No, are you serious?
let's did you
did
find
you
it in
pull
time?
that? Did you pull? You
let's see
couldn't
if we
find
can do
that
it.
video
We're gonna
clip
do the-
or
yeah,
that
the-
audio clip.
All
huh?
right,
Well,
okay.
Mike could do it live for us.
I'm excited.
I'm
There
excited.
you go.
I'm really
Alright.
excited.
There you go. All right. Well, that ends our segment Gamer Time.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Did you
I
find it?
found it.
I'm really excited.
He's so
I'm so
excited.
excited.
You're so excited,
He's
Mike.
ready to go.
All right, there you go. All right. Well, now let's move on to Mike's mesmerizing moment.
Welcome to Mike's mesmerizing moment. What does Mike have to say today?
All right, Mike, back to your story about self-driving cars. Would you use one instead of using an Uber or rideshare if the price was half of what you had to pay for Uber or the rideshare?
No.
No. And why is that?
Well, I think we can safely say
Yeah.
that the main reason is that there's nobody sitting in the driver's seat.
Okay.
And I think psychologically that's really important.
Okay.
And I'm old school, so I drive everywhere. I don't even take Ubers if I could get away with it.
Okay.
A Uber driver or
Yeah.
a rideshare driver should have more at stake with keeping you safe than a car that's driven by AI
Yeah.
that does not care about you.
Okay.
Because they don't have, all they're supposed to do is follow the traffic signals.
Yep.
Right. But remember, I told you to put a pin in that one thing?
Yep.
Okay. This car freaked out because inconsistent signs were placed out,
Yep.
which means that it was responding to human error. Right.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
Humans did things that the car could not figure out how to get through. And then it flipped out because a cop was pulling it over and ran from the cops
And sped through and then decided to pull over.
right. So that's the problem with these self-driving cars is that there are situations that it doesn't have the programming to accept. So it does what things do and it just simply ignores certain parameters and drives into ongoing traffic. So a person still has the ability to make critical thinking in those pieces.
That's valid.
The car may not have the ability to take it slow and cautiously. It just says, "Oh, can't go there." Click, crash into a pole.
That makes complete sense.
So no, and no.
All right. Well, that ends our mesmerizing moment. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now would be a good time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we'll be doing so during the break. You're listening to Tech Time Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes.
Join the fun and grab tickets to GeekFest West, the 3-day Geek Festival extravaganza of fun and entertainment that will take place on the third weekend in July. Learn more at geekfest.com. GeekFest will feature diverse activities, including a film festival, vendor hall, street fair, outdoor music festival, cosmic cosplay, and video game tournaments. Join us at GeekFest West, the ultimate celebration of geek culture. To learn more, visit geekfest.com. That is geekfest.com.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we're going to July 5th, 1994. Jeff Bezos incorporated the company that has now become Amazon. Now, what were you doing in July 5th, 1994? 30 years ago, essentially, Jeff Bezos incorporated that to make Amazon the world leader in selling books. Now, it has quite drastically changed, as Amazon is now seen as the world leader, not in selling books alone, but in media and over 40 other retail consumer segments. By now, the official story is well known. Bezos left his job at a New York hedge fund, drove across the country with then-wife Mackenzie, and launched from Seattle in his garage Amazon. Of course, he couldn't go online to incorporate. That step didn't exist yet. Only 0.447% of the world had internet access. And if you had internet at home, you're likely paying a company like AOL by the hour of $19.95 for 5 hours a week, and then $3 an hour afterwards. I remember phone bills and online service ISP deals that were in the hundreds of dollars to be online. Now, the primary way people moved data from a computer then in July 1994 was the sneakernet, which is slang for copying files to a 1.44 megabit disk and physically moving it from one computer to another. Domain names were free. It means you didn't have to actually go and buy one. They would give you one for free. If you had the foresight, you could have apparently still registered the name Amazon for free in 1994. Now, Mark Zuckerberg was aging at that time. He had turned 10. Jack Dorsey was in high school. And Evan Spiegel, the future founder of Snapchat, had just turned 4. That says pioneers got slaughtered and settlers prospered. In fact, there was already one big retailer online before Amazon. That was pals.com, the Portland's legendary independent bookstore. That was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history, with over 200 weekly broadcasts spanning 5+ years of video, podcasts, and blog information, you can visit techtimeradio.com to watch our older shows. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have Mark's Whiskey and Mumble. See you after the break.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
Well, gentlemen.
Yes.
July 9th. I love July 9th.
What's July 9th?
July 9th, National Sugar Cookie Day.
Oh, I like
Sugar cookie, sugar cookie, what a tasty treat.
Aren't they so delicious?
Where did you find
I don't know what's worse.
What's that? The music.
The fact that it's National Sugar Cookie Day, or there's actually some sound bite of somebody singing about sugar cookies.
That was the clean one. There is a great sugar cookie song out there.
Yeah.
That is a rap song.
Uh-oh.
It is so good.
But you can't play it on
No,
there.
I couldn't even get 3 seconds of it.
The audio. Okay. All right.
Now, arguably one of the greatest holidays of all time, National Sugar Cookie Day provides us with the perfect excuse to indulge in our guiltiest sugar-filled cravings. Originating back in the 1700s in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Sugar cookies were initially referenced or referred to as the Nazareth cookies by the German Protestant settlers and baked in the shape of a keystone, their state symbol. In the immortal words of Cookie Monster, nom nom nom. Delicious.
I love Cookie Monster.
Now, if you guys, I love sugar cookies. So if you guys want some, I have some sugar cookies with me.
Did you bring sugar cookies?
I thought you were going to ask me, and I was going to pull them out and say, "Of course I did."
We
got the
the white frosting
ones.
These are like Fred Meyer.
like sugar cookie day.
These are awesome. These are the frosted.
So we will share those in a minute.
All righty.
Now let's move on to bourbon.
Okay.
Now this bourbon is sometimes actually described as drinking a sugar cookie.
It does taste good.
Weller 12-year might be the closest you can get to tasting Pappy Van Winkle. It comes from the same recipe as Van Winkle Lot B, which is also aged 12 years, but does not get the sweetest spots in the warehouse. Because of this, Weller 12 has one of the more interesting journeys for a bourbon. Prior to 2014, so about 10 years ago, it was routinely found in plentiful numbers on the bottom shelf of most liquor stores where Nathan could easily reach it for $20.
Wow.
It's a great case study of the perception of value. Once found under $20, now this bourbon is mass hoarded with excess secondary pricings upwards of $300 sometimes.
It is good though.
Is it worth it?
And for $300? Did you pay $300?
Well, I did not.
Okay.
I paid $45 for that.
Okay.
I don't pay above MSRP on this.
Okay.
Now, it also depends on the individual.
Yeah.
This is not for me, even at $45.
What?
I am not a fan of this particular bourbon. I find it lacking any depth and slightly stringent on the oak. I'm in the minority, though, as people love this. If I see it for a bottle for $45, I do pick it up to share it with people. Like this one, I bought it and I did a whole bottle share when we were waiting in line at a liquor store one time with about 20 other guys.
So you bought it, and then you're in line. You're giving samples out before you bought it.
No, I had already had it. I brought it while we were waiting in line for another
to the
bottle.
liquor store. Got all the people in the liquor store drunk, and then they bought more liquor.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah.
I get you. Okay.
And I give it as presents. I brought it to parties, that kind of thing, but I usually don't end up drinking it.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I would totally drink this.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it? Okay.
I'm done with this one.
All right.
You guys can finish the rest of it if you like it.
Whiskey and
Oh,
technology.
but not Mike. He doesn't like free stuff.
That's right. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Whiskey and technology are such a great pairing, just like flip flops and Hawaiian shirts. Now let's prepare for our technology fail of the week.
We are out of time. Congratulations. You're a failure.
Oh. I failed, did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right. Well, this week's failure comes to us from the city of SeaTac in Washington State with the 4th of July drone event that got a little washed up. SeaTac's $40,000 4th of July fail. 55 drones dropped at Angle Lake. It's supposed to be a brand new 4th of July experience, having the drone light show at Angle Lake in SeaTac, a body of water squeezed in between Interstate 5 and Highway 99. The lake itself was an international airport associated with the city's name. Shortly after the drone light show began over Angle Lake on the evening of July 4th, they started dropping out of the sky. The city said 55 of the 200 drones owned by Great Lakes Drones Company out of Michigan were lost. So you don't have to pull out your own calculators. I got it here taken care of at 55 times $2,600. That's $143,000 in the water. The drones are owned by Great Lake Drones Company out of Michigan, and they put on 150 to 200 drone light shows a year across the country. Quote unquote from the CEO, Matthew Quinn, there's something wrong with the drones. Nothing's wrong with the software. Everything should have worked perfectly. We don't know what it could have been. It could have been a cell tower that's off frequency, or it could have been somebody with a drone jamming gun.
Oh, yeah.
He said select drones suffer a sudden loss of GPS signal, and then all of a sudden, they didn't know where to go home was. And it was safer to let them drop in the lake than it was for them to land on the ground. Now, this is really interesting because we found over a dozen companies making jammers online for drones. Just visit jammermaster.com and you yourself can own a drone jamming device that is legally able to be purchased for anywhere between $300 to $900. Now, the city of SeaTac said it's connecting if
Nathan wasn't at his 4th of July party, we could accuse him. He would probably be over there jamming stuff.
That's right. Okay, well, you know what? We're going to go right now into my Nathan Nugget, but you don't have to play the music. This is what I want to tell you. YouTube creator creates the first retractable lightsaber that can actually cut steel. YouTuber Alex Birkin was awarded a Guinness World Record for creating the first retractable lightsaber. The YouTube channel is called Alex Lab, And essentially, he created a plasma blade 3.2 feet that was able to get up to 500,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
That's 5,000.
5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Was that?
He's dyslexic. Let him be.
5,000. Did I say
5,000, not
5,000
500,000.
5,000. All right. So go take a look at Alex Lab on YouTube. Watch a real existing lightsaber.
What's the whiskey tasting for today?
Whiskey tasting is absolutely a thumbs up. What are we tasting again?
W.L. Weller, 12-year, the black label. 12 years, 90 proof.
He's in
$45 MSRP.
He's in the sugar cookies.
I'm eating sugar cookies. I'm not drinking this.
Are you giving it a thumbs up too?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you for watching our show. Remember, where the bites collide, circuits sing, and geeks reign supreme. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm, signing off with a binary wink. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.